Now, while the race to net zero is changing the way companies are doing business, the urgency, pace, and the extent of change are still widely underestimated. There's a huge need for leaders to realign their strategies for fostering innovative solutions with technology at the forefront, follow ambition with commitment and action, and drive purpose with the workforce and customers. Well, as we draw to a close, day one of this summit, we conclude with the closing talk on the topic Innovation and Purpose at the Heart of Leadership by none other than Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Executive Chairperson, Biocon and Biocon Biologics. Kiran is an entrepreneur and global business leader with over 4 decades of experience in biotechnology. Her journey is changing lives for the better across the globe. She's regarded as an unconventional thinker with many firsts to her credit. Under the aegis, Biocon delivers on the promise of making medicines accessible and affordable to millions of patients worldwide. Over to you, Kiran. It's an honor and pleasure to have you here with us this evening.
I'm Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, and I must say it is a great pleasure and indeed a privilege to speak at the Nasscom Summit, which is very aptly titled Designing a Sustainable and Connected Future. I thought I would speak about innovation and purpose at the heart of leadership. And I'd like to start by saying that in an increasingly interconnected world, the coronavirus pandemic has taught us that we are all in it together. What affects one person can affect people anywhere and everywhere. These are dangerously precarious times. We inhabit a critical moment in the history of humanity. If we make the right decisions, the future for a sustainable planet will be bright and promising. If we make the wrong ones, humanity will be left to answer very difficult questions of how we balance our very civilization's survival. It is in this context that designing a sustainable and connected future assumes critical importance. For designing a sustainable and connected future, I do believe that technology and scientific innovation will need to address burning issues that can make or break humanity, such as hunger, poverty, healthcare, economic equity, clean air and water, biodiversity, education, world peace, and of course, environmental protection. If humanity is to survive, we need to relook at what is right and what is good. We can no longer undervalue the future and spare little thought about how our actions may affect the generations that come after us. Even as the COVID-19 pandemic was devastating lives, disrupting economies, and decimating livelihoods, India demonstrated resilience and agility and responded with a sense of purpose, duty, and empathy. Our government, our people, and our industry exhibited immense courage and commitment to manage the crisis, driven by a singular purpose of saving lives. We implemented new initiatives, reoriented time-tested paradigms, and reinvented ourselves through increased digitalization and automation. Riding on the power of technology and science, we indigenously developed several cost-effective vaccines at scale and speed to immunize over 1 billion people. We leveraged a robust information technology backbone to track and trace COVID-19 infections, create advanced databases and real-time dashboards to map the pandemic, and deploy vaccines at unprecedented scale through platforms like CoWIN and Arogya Setu. We grew our testing capacity exponentially from one test conducted in the lab at NIV Pune in January 2020 to over 1 billion COVID-19 tests conducted across thousands of accredited public and private labs to date. The COVID-19 pandemic, in fact, was an inflection point for India to emerge as a global life sciences leader. India can and must look forward to being a global innovation leader with a sense of purpose that is driven by endeavor and empathy. We must be led by leveraging advanced science, innovative tech platforms, as well as international research collaborations. In my vision for 2047, I believe that the convergence of health technology, digital, media, and mobile telecommunications will completely revolutionize India's healthcare system over the next 25 years. Applications of Industry 4.0 methodologies such as data analytics, AI, ML, robotics, IoT, automation, blockchain, cloud computing, AR, VR, 3D bioprinting, etc., are already driving transformational change in healthcare. The adoption of these cutting-edge technologies promises to solve the challenges that we have today in terms of quality, portability, and affordability of healthcare in India. Information technology and life sciences are converging to spearhead a future where India will have leapfrogged many other nations in terms of digitally led standard of care and achieving the vision of an inclusive universal healthcare system. So my vision for India in 2047 envisages a healthcare landscape which is both advanced as well as affordable. Not for the few, but for the masses. Not just for India, but for the world. I foresee a future where a focus on preventive healthcare will proactively prevent illness and bring down the burden of disease. Where predictive health through early diagnosis will lead to better treatment outcomes and prevent the high cost of treating late-stage disease, not to mention the poor prognosis and outcomes. Where personalized patient solutions will form the crux of all therapeutic endeavors. Where telehealth will address the deficit of specialist doctors and prevent the unnecessary costs associated with transportation to tertiary care consultation. Where AI and ML can provide rapid and accurate interpretation of scans and thereby augment the power of teleradiology. Where genomics and molecular biomarkers can advance both personalized diagnosis and personalized treatment options. Where research and innovation will drive the last mile delivery of comprehensive care. Where public-private partnerships will ensure inclusivity and universal access to healthcare. In 2047, I envisage an India where transformed healthcare will have truly transformed lives. The healthcare of the future, I believe, will stand on three pillars: preventive, predictive, and personalized. So I invite you to imagine, based on these three pillars, what healthcare could look like in 2047. Imagine you are in a remote village in Ladakh. You have a persistent cough for weeks. You launch an app on your smartphone and speak into it. This app, which uses speech recognition and natural language processing or NLP algorithms, asks you to cough and it inquires about other symptoms. In the background, an AI-based screener using sounds, symptoms, and a population disease surveillance system calculates a low urgency score but identifies bronchitis and TB among potential causes. Since a doctor consultation is necessary as soon as possible, a scheduling engine checks for doctors' availability among both government and private healthcare providers using the Unified Health Interface or UHI and Health Professionals Registry or HPR. Meanwhile, a doctor in New Delhi receives a notification from a UHI registered platform on the scheduled teleconsultation. You record your breathing rate and heart rate through an app on your smartphone, and the data gets captured to your FIHR compliant electronic health record or EHR database without the need to make manual entries. You then choose which health records to share using fingerprint or ATP or OTP approval on a DigiLocker. In Delhi, the doctor reviews your screening summary, health history, as well as family's health history summary. No one has a recent history of TB in your family. You consult the doctor over video using the eSanjeevani platform. After confirming the symptoms and the history, the doctor asks you a few more questions to follow up. On the doctor's request, you measure your BP, SpO2 and ECG using a wearable cuff and share it instantly with the doctor. The doctor decides to treat you for bronchitis and prescribes some medicines for you. In a few minutes, a drone is dispatched from the closest pharmacy with medicines to the location you have shared using the indigenously developed Gagan or GPS-aided geo-augmented navigation. Later in the day, a mobile clinic equipped with point-of-care screening technologies reaches your location for further tests to rule out any other potential cause for the cough, including cancer. In the next couple of decades, you will be able to access appropriate medical care and follow-up in the remotest parts of the country thanks to India's UHC or Universal Healthcare System designed with citizens, health workers and professionals' needs at its heart and of course powered by most advanced technologies. Now let's try to imagine the journey of a person with diabetes in 2047. Imagine a 35-year-old male who resides in Bengaluru who has recently started experiencing symptoms for diabetes. He asks his smartphone-based health assistant app to assess his symptoms. Based on his response, the app asks certain follow-up questions and concludes that he might have diabetes mellitus. It recommends that he connects with a diabetologist. The app also shares his medical and family history with the doctor through a secure network. The person then logs on to a secure patient portal for a video conference with the diabetologist who assesses his symptoms. The doctor then suggests certain additional diagnostic tests. These tests do confirm that he has type 2 diabetes. As part of the diagnosis, the doctor decides to intervene and initiate insulin therapy. The doctor then recommends a digital therapeutic for him. This digital therapeutic, which is connected to his smartphone through an app and to his EHR system, updates his blood glucose levels in real time and sends him alerts and notifications on the timing and quantity of the next dose of insulin. This technology can also help him to connect a device which automatically releases insulin into the patient's bloodstream once it detects spikes in the blood sugar level. Unlike the current paradigm of one size fits all, insulins and other therapies will be personalized to an individual patient's needs in the future. Digital therapeutics will make disease management a seamless and continuous experience for patients. So in conclusion, I'd like to say that the future of tech and pharma is as much about political and cultural leadership as it will be about the science and the technology itself. Countries such as ours must therefore drive our R&D ecosystems with government support and subsidy for innovation and manufacturing to make products affordable not only for their domestic markets but also for the globe. Historically, innovations have been relatively concentrated in the West in a handful of biotech and technology hubs. This clustering is no accident. All those regions and their governments deliberately implemented policies to attract and retain the world's most brilliant scientists and engineers. Seed funding was also a vital part of creating these clusters, as were incentives to back ideas and aim at moonshots. Today's interconnected world calls for partnerships and collaborations in a boundaryless manner. We seek such linkages and look towards the government to evolve policies that make it easy for R&D and partnerships to thrive, whether it be in startups or in large enterprises. To end, I wish to shine the spotlight on life technologies as a key thrust area for India's economic development, and we do need to do whatever we can to position India at the forefront of this transformational sector. The road ahead is long, but we have all what it takes to succeed. If we do so, we can be a scientific powerhouse for the world and create one of the greatest legacies for a healthy, sustainable, connected, and prosperous future by the time we make and mark the centenary of India's independence. Jai Hind and thank you.
Thank you, Kiran, for that flawless closing session, leaving the narrative of innovation and purpose at the heart of leadership on an insightful note. We'd like to thank you for sharing your perspectives with us. With this, we bring to a close day one of the Nasscom Design and Engineering Summit 2022. We hope you enjoyed today and are taking back loads of learning from all the interesting and insightful discussions.